Yo, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. How are my freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters? How y'all doing? We got some people in the building. We got Chris. We got Coach B. Hudson in the building, my comrade. Latressa Montgomery's in here. Orange Lily for You was in the building, of course. Salute to the Orange Lily for You. How are you doing, my queen? How's everyone? Yeah. Ooh-wee, here we go. Good for you, Orange Lily. Here come the ice capers. Here come the ice capers. Ooh-wee. Here come the people to save ice from criticism. Let's hear it, people. Yeah, I wanted to talk about ice because there is a lot of controversy surrounding ICE and their activities in regards to what they are doing in the streets. You know, rounding people up that are illegal, supposedly. Right, that's what they're supposed to be doing, rounding up illegals. They have no authority at all or jurisdiction over United States citizens. Yet, invariably, we are encountering situations where more and more ICE agents are committing terrorism against the people they're supposed to be protecting from illegals. Why? Well, you're in my way. Get out of the road. Oh my God, you said something. Oh, listen, it's all bullshit. Oh, we think you have illegals in your house. Let's just walk up in here and just do what the fuck we want. That's really what was going on here, right? Now, ICE has been around, I think, since 2003. It's not a very old agency, right? And because of the actions and the executive orders of a Donald Trump and Kristi Noem and people like that, ICE agents feel like they have the authority to do whatever they want to United States so-called citizens, right? That is what they believe because of this qualified immunity they feel like they have based on orders from a Donald Trump and a Kristi Noem carrying out orders, right? It's always like that. But see, that's why we had the Nuremberg trials, right? Tell me, how did that help the Nazis during the Nuremberg trial? I was just following orders. How did that help them? Someone said, shut up. Do me a favor, mods. Get that motherfucker out of here. No one tells me what to do. All right? That motherfucker can go away forever. You can block them 100%. They don't need to ever come back. Don't ever come in my motherfucking channel and tell me to shut the fuck up. Period. Don't ever tell me what to do. You tell me what to do, I'm bouncing your ass here. And you're going to have to watch from a distance. You understand what I'm talking about? Don't tell me what to do. Fuck off with that shit. Anyway. So, what gives ICE authority to do whatever they feel like they want to do? Well, what gives them this, believed authority, this delusion of authority, is edicts, man-made laws, man-made executive orders that are supposed to be, the supreme rule of the land, right? The supreme thing, right? Oh, well, Donald Trump told them to do this, and Kristi Noem told ICE to go out here and do all these different things, and when, they act out of pocket and out of order, oh, we're just supposed to shut up and accept it because, I don't know, a few months ago, some guy got dragged a few hundred feet. Oh, so That gives him carte blanche to just shoot people in the face. Okay. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Where did that happen? That happened in, where was that? Milwaukee, right? Minnesota? Not Minnesota. Milwaukee's not Minnesota. It happened in Minnesota, correct? Or wherever the fuck that happened. I forgot what state that was in. Let me ask y'all a question. If some regular motherfucker came up to you and, you know, you're in your car and they just started accosting you and trying to act like they have some say over what you can and cannot do, and just start harassing you, and you decide that, okay, you won't move out my fucking way, I'm going to drive away from you, and maybe I glance you with my car or whatever the fuck. Do you think I would be able to haul off and shoot somebody in the face 3 times because they bumped me with their car? At the very least, without going to jail. I can, you know, create a defense of, you know, self-defense. Maybe I could plead self-defense. Maybe I can convince a jury that, look, I thought they were going to kill me with their car. But at the very least, you would be arrested. You right? You would not receive administrative leave. You would not be able to just walk around. No, they will arrest your ass. In certain states, you have no rights to self-defense in that regard. Right? Now let's talk about how this ICE agent got himself in the position, right, to place himself in front of that vehicle. Right? Oh, well, he's an ICE agent. They have police powers. They can do this, they can do that. They have mandates and executive orders and all these different things, right? They have the authority. No, they don't. Oh, they're impeding on my investigation. What investigation? Someone says wrong. Tell me what's right. Tell me what's right. Now, let me tell you something. ICE is not a legitimate agency. Now, the scenario I just explained to you, right, where if someone moves their vehicle because they wanted to do what the fuck they wanted to do, and you were trying to stop them from doing what they wanted to do, you have placed yourself in the position to be moved the fuck out of the way. If I'm trying to walk this way, you get in my way. Right? Just say we're walking on feet. We're pedestrians. We're not in the car. If I'm trying to go that way and you get in my way, I might veer left or right. And if I bump you with my shoulder, well, you should have got the fuck out of my way. Yeah, you're impeding upon my progress to move freely. Yeah, that's what you're doing. Do you think you'd be able to shoot me? Sure, it's a vehicle, right? They got the idiots out of his car, putting himself in front of a vehicle that could be moved at any time. Let's talk about the idiocy of this ICE officer. To put himself, if he's so afraid of being dragged again, why is he putting himself in a position to get dragged again? Inquiring minds want to know. So I have, listen, I don't care if the lady's white, I don't give a fuck. But in reality, this has happened to black people for less reasons. Black people have been murdered by the po-po for running away, right? They've been shot in the back. You know, they have been killed by the po-po for less reasons. But the bottom line is this. This ICE officer had even less authority than your regular everyday street pirate to even have any kind of conversation with these women. Yeah, let's just get that straight right now. They had no authority. Now let's talk about the legitimacy of the ICE agency. They have none. Well, how could you say that, Snapzilla Gorilla? How could you say that? They were enacted They're under the Department of Homeland Security and all the, oh, they do this and they get rid of the illegals and all this, that, and the third, right? So, how are they legitimate? Because some bureaucrat said that, oh, well, we need to create another agency. We need to create as many agencies as possible, right? We need to create more government bureaucracies to further strip the rights of the people, to further extort the people, because it costs money, right? Every agency you create costs money, so that's money coming out of our pockets. Now, am I saying that an agency like an ICE agency isn't necessary to some degree under certain circumstances? That's not what I'm saying. Someone says I'm an idiot. Okay, tell me what the intelligent thing is. Explain to me what's intelligence. Explain to me give me some smart things to say. Tell me some smart shit. I'm an idiot, so educate me. Can you do that? I'm just curious. I don't think you can. I don't think you can give me any intelligible conversation that would prove me to be an idiot. I don't think you can do that because you're upset, right? Because I put Trump's ICE. Yeah. Because I knew I'll pull you asshats out of nowhere. I knew you would come and see what I had to say about your baby daddy, Donald Trump. Yeah, I knew you would come. I knew you would come here to find out, why is he talking about Donald Trump today? He had Donald Trump syndrome. Well, I'll tell you what. It's because Donald Trump is allowing this agency to act outside of their authority. Yeah. That is what makes them illegitimate. Right? If we want to stick to civics here, right? They are acting out of their authority more and more. They are violating the rights of so-called American citizens more and more. They're stepping over the line more and more because, well, they feel like they can. See, you give these people power, these people badges. They think that the badge and the gun imbues them and anoints them with some type of special powers that you don't have access to. Why? Because some guy over there that has never met you in your entire life, doesn't know you from Adam, and doesn't care about your well-being, said, well, they can do what they want. And then Christy Nome says, oh yeah, just run up and through there and do whatever the fuck you want to do. Including attacking protesters, agitating protesters. At the same time, you have agent provocateurs within these crowds of protesters doing what they are paid to do by their agency, their respective agency, which is create chaos and start riots like they did during the George Floyd. They did that during the George Floyd protest, right? Yeah, there were FBI agents. There were masked white motherfuckers running around in black neighborhoods starting shit. And guess what happened? Guess what happened? So many times, black folks would snatch these white motherfuckers up and say, what the fuck is you doing? Are you trying to start some shit? Yeah, a lot of them got caught and they'd run away. Yeah, there was some guy running around trying to set fire to buildings, trying to encourage people. Some white guy on a skateboard with some just with a hoodie, a trench coat. Yeah, he was running around trying to start shit. He got snatched up by black folks and said, hey man, what the fuck is you doing? See, this is what happens. And then when the shit gets going, they want to blame black folk. Oh, look at them. Oh, they ain't got no home training. Look at them. Oh, look at them. No, well, most of the people that were causing problems during the George Floyd protest were white Antifa. Nerd-looking motherfuckers that got busted in by George Soros. Yeah, yeah. You don't believe me? Look it up. Look it up. Who was funding Antifa and funding and busing people to these locations to start these protests? George Soros, his organization. Yeah, George Soros gave money to BLM. Yeah. And when these white motherfuckers, these little white kids, they come up and through and they start trying to cause problems, black folks get blamed, right? Well, I know better. Yeah, I know better. Now, it's no different now. Agent provocateurs have been a thing for quite a while. They're a thing all over the world. They are a thing in Iran. Some guy got caught trying to be an agent provocateur in Iran during some protests. Yeah, you can look that up too. Look it up. He got caught. And guess what they did? They got his ass out of there. See, we have to be careful when we go to these protests. And I suggest black folks, you don't need to go to these protests at all. It ain't your business. You go to these protests, they want you to protest in large numbers, and they want it to escalate to riots so that illegitimate agencies like ICE can do what they're doing to those people in those crowds. So that they can continue to knock down doors of U.S. citizens and say, oh, I heard you got some illegals up in here. No, they don't have any illegals up in there. You just are operating on some bullshit. Salute to Ab Sugar. My brother Shelton's in the building. Salute to my brother Shelton. He said that's why these fake Black Panthers out here now trying to get black people involved so we can get... Man, fuck that. Don't take your black ass to none of these protests. Protest for what? I keep saying it every time we have these protests, every time we have these regressive grievances to the government, you can't protest to your tyrant to stop committing tyranny toward you. Why would they want to stop? What are these protests for? They want you to protest. They want to send their agents. And here's the funny thing. We know that there were agents and agent provocateurs at these George Floyd protests. And of course, the white right, didn't want to believe you. That's not true. But when it came to January 6th, remember January 6th? Agent provocateurs, like that little fucker Nunez or whatever his name is, the one I was shitting on the other day. What's his name? What's that little dude name? That Mexican that think he's white and hates black people. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah. What's that dude's name? Oh, shit. Whatever. The dude's name. Yeah, Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is an agent. You had agents at January 6th that convinced a bunch of idiots to storm a Capitol, and got themselves caught up. You believed that there were FBI agents involved with that, but far be it for you to believe that agents would also do the same thing during the George Floyd protest. It's interesting what you guys choose to believe. Someone says, shut your mouth, Albert. Oh, something for the trollers. If you come here trolling, just keep scrolling. Because it doesn't matter what is your idiotic chatter. We don't want to care. That's funny. You got some rhymes going on. Someone says no one likes Nick Fuentes. Relax. Oh, now you don't like him. Sure. We know you don't have any illegals up in your house either. Well, of course not. Now, ICE is not legitimate. I agree 100%. Yeah. But not because it was formed recently or because they're acting outside of their authority. Well, it's because it's a government agency. Yeah. And that's what this discussion is about. Nothing in government is legitimate. Nothing. If you decide to remove your consent, it's only legitimate because the people lend government legitimacy by transferring their power to them. So, if you want to recognize a bureaucracy or a government agency or government as a whole as illegitimate, all you got to do is remove your consent. Think about it. Think about it. Because when has the government ever acted on your behalf without extracting something from you or someone else? Think about it. What authority does government have over you outside of what you give it? It cannot be a borderless world. This is only true because of government. Don't you understand that? You do understand that, right? Even when there were warring tribes that were fighting over territory, there were no borders. It was whoever won that battle, well, they got to get that territory and they got to get their they got to hunt there. But it wasn't a border. It was just what you were willing to fight for, what resources you were willing to fight for with the other tribe. There was no pretense of, oh, I'm going to help you guys. Yeah, just give us all. Yeah, just transfer your power and your sovereignty and your freedom. Give it to us. We'll take good care of you. See, I'd rather have a tribe across the way try to encroach on what I believe is my territory. Really is what you're willing to fight for, right? Because everybody wants the same resources, right? I'd rather have that. You know the danger you're facing. Yeah. Instead of, oh, well, here you go. We'll do all this work over here. We'll not only let you have your territory, but you can have my territory. You can have that tribe's territory, that tribe's territory. How about you have all the tribe's territories on this land they call America, and you just run everything, and then we'll just do all the hard work and we'll hand it all over to you in the form of taxation. And we'll just sit back and expect you to take care of us for the rest of our lives. Yeah. And then we won't expect, no, there won't be any corruption. Money won't come in the government. No, it'll be perfect. We'll give the elite few power over the many, and we will expect them to take care of us for the rest of our lives. You know why they form these agencies, these bureaucracies, these ISIS, the Department of Homeland Security, TSA, all these new agencies since 2001, 1911, 2001, all these agencies that were created to convince you that they were trying to keep you safe. Every time they create an agency, every time they create an enforcement arm, they are creating an apparatus through which to control you. That is what they're doing. And every agency in existence before those, it's the same shit. Same. They create bureaucracies and agencies to further control you and to extract more wealth. Every time they create an agency, it costs money. Every time that agency does something, it costs money. Every time a pencil pusher at the Capitol building does something, it costs you money. They are sucking. They are sucking all the energy and power from the people, and they're placing it in the hands of their controllers. Then leave the USA, says Stephen. No. See, that's an answer of a lazy person. Yeah, why would I leave? This is my land. I belong here. I am indigenous to this land they call the United States. I'm an indigenous individual. This is my land. Yeah, every country has a border because of government. Government makes borders necessary. You know why? Because governments, they thirst for more power and they thirst for more resources. They thirst for more control. So they have to go outside of their own nation to try to extract it from other nations. So of course there are borders. Borders are only necessary because of government. Someone says they spent 23 years in the military and they're good. Good for what? Oh, you think they like veterans? You think the government appreciates and respects veterans? Let me tell y'all something. When they really start cracking down, who you think they going after first? They already are trying to, every time they do a budget, every time they do a military defense bill or something like that, they try to sneak in legislation or little clauses to enact more gun control against veterans. Yeah. Or Lily for you says, Steve, is healthy to critically analyze your own shit. Yeah, absolutely. If I didn't like a place, I would leave. Who says I don't like the place? Y'all can't be this dense. Is this another complaint line about ICE? Who says I don't like the place? You thought government is a place? Oh, the government is a place to you. Who says anything about not liking a place? The topic is ICE not being a legitimate authority, as well as every government agency not being legitimate. The government in and of itself is not legitimate. You complaining about current admin or previous? Man, y'all are ooh-wee. Salute to the lunatic libertarian. Salute to my brother. Y'all are really dense. It's all about left or right to y'all. See, once you look past that, once you have an understanding of how shit really works, you don't concern yourself with left or right. It just is not a thing. That is remedial conversation. You have to look past that. You have to understand how the shit really works. When you understand how the shit really works, you know that left versus right is a bunch of bullshit. Why do we have a government? You tell me. We have a government because you guys give consent to be governed. Yeah, I know. My MOS was 11 Mike. 11 Mike before they made all the 11s 11X. The problem is you believe without fact. What? Without what fact? What fact should I have? Give me a fact. 30 years is a drop in the bucket. USAID was around a lot longer. The government is here to deal with it. What do you propose otherwise? Everything that the government deals with, every problem the government solves, was created by the government in the first place. Yeah. These are facts. The government creates problems, or they co-opt problems, and they provide pre-planned solutions to convince you that they're necessary. See, the government during the Biden administration allowed tens of millions of people to enter into the country willy-nilly. So they created this problem of immigration, this immigration problem that we have. They created it. And now they can come through and solve the problem they created in the first place. But see, you're going to say, oh, well, that was Joe Biden. Joe Biden did that. Well, Joe Biden is a part of the government that you give consent to be governed by. Yeah, you still sat back and let Joe Biden run shit the way he wanted to run shit. Y'all watched him allow people to come up in here by the tens of millions, and you bitched and moaned like you say I'm doing about ICE right now. So when Biden's administration let these people come in here so that they could initiate what they want to initiate, which is martial law, which is what I told you guys they would do last year and the year before that. I told you guys that. I said that they're letting these people in here so that they can have these issues with immigration to enact martial law in our own country, and you guys are going to sit back and smile about it. You have no vision. I had the vision. I saw. I called it out like I call out many other things. Not because I'm some soothsayer or a genius. No, I just use common sense. I understand how the government works. All you have to do is look throughout history and see what they do and how they make moves. This is what they do. They have to give you the impression that they're necessary. So they always are going to create the problems to solve for you to believe that they're necessary. It's called the Hegelian dialectic. Problem, reaction, solution. And then this guy comes in and says, ice, ice, baby. Well, see, every time they're going to do a little bit more to see how much they can get away with and how much you will accept. They did the same thing during COVID-19, right? When they enacted soft martial law in certain states. And then they're doing it now after Joe Biden's administration allowed illegal immigrants to flow into the country. And you're accepting it now because of the reasoning they're giving you, right? Well, see, the government created the problem of the illegal immigration being out of control in the first place, right? And even with COVID-19, what did we find out? Our government was funding gain of function research, right? We were funding it in a lab that was creating COVID-19 that got released out into the world. So even with COVID-19, our government had a hand in COVID-19 existing in the first place to come out and then go all over the world and do what it did so that they could create these vaccines that are now causing cancer. Yeah. See, the solution to the COVID-19 problem that they created was to mask you up, distance you, right? Isolate you from everybody you love, and then have you inject these substances that have not gone through the scientific method to determine whether or not it's safe and effective. You know what the scientific method is? They did not use the scientific method to roll out the COVID-19 vaccines. And people like me, I was telling y'all, listen, they created this thing in 9 months, they said. It took them 9 months to make this vaccine. Vaccines usually take 5 to 10 years to be determined whether or not it's safe and effective. And they're trying to give it to us in 9 months. I said that's going to be a problem because it hasn't been tested. It hasn't gone through the research. It hasn't gone through the studies. It hasn't gone through the trials. It hasn't gone through all the rigorous testing that you had to go through for something like that to be determined safe and effective. And I got called a conspiracy theorist. I got said, oh, this guy's crazy. Yeah. Yet, here we are, 6 years later, and the proliferation of fast-acting cancer is among us. And much research and studies have been done to determine that the COVID-19 vaccines caused these fast-acting cancers. What is my solution? I always give the solution. You guys are new here. What's the solution? What is the USA? A corporation. That's what the USA is. See, the solution involves being prepared to be uncomfortable. If you're not ready for that, you're not ready for the solution. Someone says move then because they're lazy and they don't know how to critically think. Someone says move. But why would I move? Now I'm just talking bullshit. Thumbs down, reported and blocked. Yeah, you can get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Reported for what? You know the reported for what? What are you talking about? You dumb brother. The solution is to decouple. Right? Remove the chains. Remove yourself. Yeah, that's how you do that. You have to get yourself in a position where you're good, right? Whether it's with you and your family, you and a group of people, get some land, you know what I'm saying? Build your own community, a self-sufficient, self-reliant community. And it's being done already in this country. Y'all just don't know about it. There are communities in this country right now that are working on becoming self-sufficient. They're building their own communities to remove themselves and to completely be self-sufficient. Yeah. So that they can have everything they need within their community. There are people doing that right now. And so you get enough people that do that all over this country, you start a movement. You start a movement, right? You start a movement and you encourage this all over the country. More and more people get involved with community building, and then you remove yourselves from the system. And so all of a sudden, when people stop paying their taxes, people stop going to work and start doing it, and stop going to the gas station and stop consuming. All of a sudden, yeah, it's going to create a huge disruption. A huge disruption. Now, the solution is not an easy one, right? It's not an easy solution, but it's the solution. Then you can work on decentralizing the government, right? You decentralize, right? There's nothing more powerful that you can do to a tyrant than removing your consent, right? Now, this was done throughout the years, throughout the decades and the centuries in many different ways. It depends on the times you live in, right? What did the slaves do? The chattel slaves. They revolted, they rebelled through violence because there was no other way they could do it, right? They set the house on fire. They set the big house on fire. They started killing their masters, right? They did that. They had to do those things to free themselves, and then they had to go north, right? See, now it's a different time. The chains are different. The big house is made of paper. See, we're enslaved, but in a different way now. We're not enslaved the same way that we were once enslaved. No. The chains look different than they did before. See, in this day and age, you have to remove your own chains. You can't expect them to remove the chain for you. That's why protesting and marching in the street, that shit don't help. You're asking them to remove the chain. They're not going to remove the chains. You have to remove your own chains. Yeah. The psychological chains, the economic change, the social chains, you have to remove them one step at a time. And that is the solution. But you got to be ready to be uncomfortable. Salute to my brother, I am True Will in the building. Salute to you, brother. You got to free yourself. You can't expect the system designed to oppress you to stop oppressing you because you asked it to, or because you voted for somebody, or because you put somebody in office that you think is going to. No, it's not how that works. No. Remove your consent. That is the solution. It's consent of the governed for a reason. They gave you the option right there. They gave you an out. But what happened is, over the years, they made it more difficult to remove consent because they gained more and more power. They gained more and more influence. They built more and more bureaucracies. They created more and more agencies. The government spread like goddamn a virus. That's what happened. And right under our noses, spread like a virus. All this industrialization, the technological advances, all these different things, the internet. Well, it gave them the ability to spread their power and influence even more. The solution is to change the president. Someone says take my medication. Okay, I will in a minute. Anyway, guys, I got to get out of here. Yes, I'm not going to reach everyone every time I talk, but I will reach more people every time I talk. And we don't need everybody. You just need enough. You need enough in those that decided to sit by and do nothing and just see what happens. Well, sit your ass down when it's over. Sit your ass down and mind your own goddamn business. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. I'm sure Will says that's not the goal anyway. It sure ain't. Yeah. That, someone says it doesn't matter who we have as president. I agree 100%. The new president is just going to be another part of the dog and pony show. It is what it is. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for coming through. Thank you for hitting that like button. Please hit the like button on the way out. And just think about what I said. If ICE is legitimate, then the government that created it is also legitimate. Some of America is too stupid to understand changes. Yes, they are. But we ain't gonna worry about them. Just stay out of our way when we make the changes happen. So we can't worry about who can accept changes or not. We can't worry about that because not everybody's going to want the change. So, but we can't care about it because we have to free ourselves. And if they want to have the same system, they can go on somewhere and create it themselves somewhere else. They can say, I want government to take care of me. Well, that's fine. Just tell your government to leave me the fuck alone. That's all this is about. Because see, if something's not done, then somebody's going to drag us into a full-scale World War III. And by the time you realize it, and you see all kind of motherfuckers parachuting in here, when you hear bombs exploding off the coast of your own country. When you hear their air raid siren, when they tell you this country or that country just shot off a goddamn nuclear weapon, don't ask what could have been done, because I'm telling you what could have been done. Yeah. Anyway, much love, y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow. Much love. Like, share, subscribe, and guess what we gonna do, y'all? Keep marching forward toward freedom and truth. Salute to my people out there. Orange Lily for you. I am Trill Will, my brother. Make sure you drop your link. Y'all go check I am Trill Will out. That's my brother. So is Coach B Hudson and the brother Shelton. Y'all go check these people out. Flying Guillotine. They all got channels. Make sure you check them out. Mahari Nation is in the building as well. Salute to CMM, Terry, Must Be Crazy, who said bullshit, and that's perfectly fine, whatever you say. Trump is a racist troglodyte. Absolutely. Well, yeah, World War III is here. I'm talking about full-scale, all-out World War III. This is soft World War III. This is basically another Cold War. Anyway, holla at y'all later, man. Peace.